Salut, c'est Madame Hennessy. Today I want to take some time to talk about our class rules, especially since we are transitioning into 50-50 instruction. The way that our class operates is going to change a little bit now that we're in an actual classroom. Granted, I will be in the classroom with students for 3 days prior to heading off on maternity leave, but these rules are definitely going to apply once I return, and there is a rock solid chance that your French substitute teacher will also choose to follow these rules. If the sub uses different rules, then listen to those rules when that teacher is in the room. But first off, rule number 1 is the same number 1 job that you've had this whole time, which is listen with the intent to understand. So when you're in the classroom, I'm looking out for you to just pay attention as well as you can. The expectation is not for you to understand every single word the first time you hear it. It's just for you to attempt to understand. So active listening skills, the best that you can do. Okay, rule number 2, one person speaks and the others listen. This is especially a big deal as we are transitioning to in-person learning. Because when we've been off in Zoom land, then you can just have your microphone muted and you can like talk and sing to yourself all the time and it makes no difference at all. But when you're in a classroom, if you suddenly start talking and singing to yourself in the middle of a class period, that can be super disruptive. It can be super distracting. It'll take away from your ability to understand what's going on. It'll take away other people's abilities to understand what's going on, and it will take away my ability to focus on what I'm trying to teach you. My attention span is way too short and fragile for you to just be spouting things off all the time. So forgetting this rule is only human. It's totally normal, but I'll just give you regular reminders in case there are different noises and disruptions and such that might be happening during class. Okay, next one. Be willing to take risks and make mistakes. This one, thus far in the school year, everyone's been doing a fantastic job with. But just be willing to try to communicate in French. So with the individual responses that people have provided during class, those have been fantastic. And again, the expectation is not that you're going to be perfect every time. You're little French newborn babies right now. You're going to make mistakes, but you have to make those mistakes in order to learn. It's how you learned English. If you have a different first language, then it's how you learned that one as well. It's how you learned to walk and do everything. You learn everything by trying it, being willing to mess it up along the way and learn from anything that doesn't go perfectly. So that's just being willing to try, even if it doesn't go right on your first attempt. Okay, next one, show respect for all people and our surroundings. So that includes your classmates, it includes your teacher, it includes our classroom space, it includes any books and resources in the class or in the classroom. It also includes yourself. So negative self-talk, not cool, man, don't do it. Say nice things about my students, because I believe nice things about my students. No devices out unless told otherwise. Basically, your desk should be empty most of the time in class. In my Fishers Junior High classroom, the front row of seats does not have desks in front of them. And that's because you don't need to have any materials in front of you most of the time because, again, your number 1 job is just listening with the intent to understand. So if you personally are not the note-taking type, and I'm not presently requiring notes to be taken on whatever topic, then you can just have an empty desk in front of you. So this is just to make sure that we have as few distractions as possible in the classroom during our class period. Okay, then do our 50%. This one we already know because we talked about on the first day of school. So you give your effort, I give my effort. If each of us is doing our 50%, then we reach comprehension, we reach understanding. And then the final rule, support the flow of language in French. And this, along with rule number 1, Those are the two things on your interpersonal communication skills rubric that we have every single day in class, whether you're here virtually or in person. So attempt to make French happen. Communicate when you don't understand yet. And that's pretty much it. Those are our rules and expectations. Merci. Au revoir.